we're making a outdoor run for the chickens. I got my helper here today, really speeding things up for me. But yeah, basically just got a bunch of pressure treated wood. We're just building a really basic. Hey, Zane, hey, hold on, bud. Come here. You're gonna be in the video. Tell them what we're doing.
I'm doing in bed.
Yep. So yeah, we're just using some basic 2x4s to frame this, and then we're just gonna put up some chicken wire to keep all the rodents out. Around here we have a lot of critters, foxes, coyotes, long-tailed weasels. Those are the nasty ones because they could squeeze into any little spot. Zane's currently running the batteries out of my drill, so I don't know how far we'll get with this project, but all right, so here's the progress. We got it all framed up. Ended up actually making just a simple door too with a diagonal brace, keep that from sagging. I'm gonna head back to the store right now because of course I forgot the latches and the hinges for this. And I'm also gonna get some chicken wire. Probably not chicken wire. There's another type of fencing. I'll have to see what the name is. I'm going to run the tractor supply and see the options. I know there's something with like square holes that are a little smaller and it seems to be a little more rigid. So I have these spaced at little bit less than 4 feet because the fencing itself comes in 4-foot rolls. You could get them in 5 foot, 6 foot, but I figured 4 foot's good enough to still give some support. Yeah, I think other than that, the next step is just putting all that fencing on. I think what I'll end up doing after too is just bringing the skid steer, throwing a little bit of dirt to fill in around the outside. I'll probably grade this up completely, but I will also put chicken wire in the bottom because we don't want anything digging under and up into these. Of course, we're not going to leave them out, but I've seen foxes and all sorts of stuff run out in broad daylight and peck off some of these when we used to free range them. So we want to keep that from happening. So I'm going to run to the store now and we'll get right back to it. And here is the door. Just grabbed some heavy duty hinges and some latches here. I ended up getting some stainless screws. Of course, the hinge pack didn't come with screws, which would have been black, which I thought was kind of odd. I searched the whole store hardware section for black screws, and they had a few of them, but they didn't have the correct size. All of them were pretty small, like a drywall screw. So went ahead with the stainless, not a big deal. I'm going to end up painting all this black next year anyway. So yeah, I ended up going with double latches because this was a little bit bent out of shape and it's hard to get a door like this perfectly straight without beefing up the inside. I didn't want to go too crazy and make the door really heavy, so this is a perfect system which will also help it over the years as it does dry out or warp. That'll just keep it stiff. So yeah, it came out really good. Pop this open. Swings right open. I'm just going to end up stapling some of the fence. So I also went to the store to get some fencing and they did not have the correct size I wanted. I'm going to get what's called hardware cloth. It's 1/2-inch squares. It's really durable. I ended up ordering it on Amazon though, so it's black. It's got a vinyl coated black color on it, which is we were going to end up spraying it black anyway to match. Which is also why we have this fan in here, because it does get obviously pretty hot. That's why we want the chickens to be able to come in and out. But the fan definitely keeps it cool. So yeah, I just got to go ahead and put the fencing on it and start stapling that on. So we got our fencing here that we ordered from Amazon, 100 feet by 4 feet, and it's actually black. So it's nice that we were going to end up spraying it, but it's nice to just purchase it in black so we don't have to. We do have to paint the wood eventually, but it eliminates the need to have to cover all that. So I'm actually just going in right now. I just did the top. A little tricky because I'm up on a ladder trying to staple up over the top of it, but I'm just using a pneumatic stapler here. And they're pretty small staples, so you just have to make sure that you're hitting it and actually grabbing onto the fencing, but it's working out great. I was able to get it pretty tight. Probably can't tell on the camera. There's some waves in it and whatnot, but it's definitely going to do the job. So the sides will be a lot easier. Like I said, the top's hard just because you're dealing with gravity fighting you the whole time. and I am doing this alone, so you kind of have to just tack it in one spot temporarily, then kind of pull that one out, just kind of keep moving around. But those two were the trickiest. Now these sides should go pretty quick. All right, so I finished all of the fencing on here, and it's probably hard to see on camera, but it's nice black mesh that's coated in vinyl, so very, very good stuff. I'm actually, here's the rest of it. Here's what it looks like in the roll. About 100 feet of it. I'm going to put a link in the description so you guys can buy that. It's affiliate link too, so it'll help me out if you guys do purchase using that link. It was very reasonable. I cannot remember the price off the top of my head, but as opposed to like tractor supply and whatnot, which I actually couldn't get 4 feet wide, they didn't have it in stock there. So we ordered it. And I ended up using these staples right here. I just went crazy with these staples here. I put in tons and tons and tons of them just so that there's no chance that, you know, an animal could sneak in here or that it's just going to loosen up over time. I ended up also putting it on the ground. That's something I've always done with any of these outdoor runs because animals can dig under here. So you can see I put it on the ground. I even put a board here just for support. We're going to end up throwing a little bit of dirt and some mulch and whatnot just so they could play around in here and don't have to worry with all their droppings and stuff. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I think the only thing I'll do beyond this is probably add some perches in here, some other wood and stuff so they could fly up and land on. And then we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, everything's working out really good. We're actually going to just finish up, throw some chips down, and then open the door up and let them explore tonight. So pretty simple project. I gotta say it took me a few days because we had some rain and I just got busy with other things. So but overall I think I literally did this whole thing in like 3 to 4 hours. I will say the framing I envision taking much longer. That's kind of just how I am. I always think things are going to take much longer than it is, and I think in like the first 2 hours I had it almost completely framed. So the tricky part was putting the fencing up, and that's mainly because I was doing it by myself, and it doesn't try to roll up on you. That was my one fear. Is I thought it would just be how it's kind of used to being in the roll. I thought it would try to roll up on me. That wasn't really the issue. One is that my staple gun, and I am using a pneumatic gun, it does not have a clip on it. Let me show you that. So this is the gun I'm using. It does not have a clip to hang on you. So you're trying to hold up the fencing. You're trying to hold on to the gun under your armpit. That's one thing that I've never really used that staple gun often. So I never really noticed that was an issue. But that's one thing. I'm just going to make a clip for it going forward. So that would have made things a lot easier. And the one thing you have to think about with anything, you're trying to keep it all square. So you don't want to just start stapling like crazy and then realize you have it bunched up as you work it down into a corner. You know, just put one staple in the corner, sort of let it hang, get it to hang naturally. I actually was able to use this corner to my advantage and shove the fencing into the corner first, staple along the side, then work it out, and just take your time stapling it, or you're going to end up with just a bunched up mess at the bottom, and you're not going to bend that stuff easily. So it's pretty rigid, but yeah, pretty happy with it. I think all in, we're probably all in. Like I said, I can't remember how much the fence was, but it was 100 something bucks. So with that and the lumber, probably under 400 bucks. Hope you guys like this video. Like I said, there'll be a link for the fence at the bottom if you guys want to help me out and purchase it through there. And give this one a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Tons of videos on this whole entire house build here. We're going to be putting in a lawn soon. We're just waiting for a few more days for the sun to dry everything out. And then we'll back blade it all with the dozer, plant some seed, and we're just going to start a lot of spring projects around here. So stay tuned. And with that said, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Sorry.